face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello, I'm your host, Adam Masai. For this hour's news, stay tuned. Let's start with Libya. Libya celebrated the reopening of its national museum, housed within the historic Red Castle complex in Tripoli, marking a significant cultural moment after 14 years of closure. The ceremony was attended by senior state officials, ambassadors, and heads of diplomatic missions to Libya, alongside prominent artists and media figures from across the Arab world, according to official statements from the Government of National Unity. In his opening address, Libyan Prime Minister Abdulhamid Dbeibah emphasized the museum's role as a more than a simple repository of relics. He described the institution as the nation's full memory, vital for preserving Libya's deep history, its successive civilizations, from Greek and Roman colonies to its Islamic heritage, and reflecting the core identity of the Libyan people across the ages. The National Museum houses an extensive collection of Libyan archaeological artifacts. Dbeibah and other officials present at the ceremony reaffirmed the government's continued commitment to supporting programs aimed at restoring historical sites and landmarks nationwide. President William Ruto has promised to rename the soon-to-be-completed Talanta Stadium in honor of opposition leader Raila Odinga, following an emotional appeal by Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja during this year's Jamhuri Day celebrations. Earlier at Nyayo Stadium, Sakaja set the tone by publicly calling on the president to name the new facility the Raila Odinga International Stadium, calling it an appropriate honor for the statement's enduring role in shaping Kenya's political and democratic developments. Responding to the appeal during his national address at the 62nd Jamhuri Day celebrations, President Ruto acknowledged the government's request and assured Kenyans that the proposal would be honored once the stadium is complete. The president's remarks were met with loud applause and cheers from thousands of Kenyans at the stadium. The 60,000 capacity Talanta Stadium, currently in its final phase of construction, is one of the flagship sporting facilities under development in Nairobi. The Zambian Ministry of Tourism and Zambian National Commission for UNESCO have successfully concluded a 4-year project to safeguard Kuyabila, the traditional drum poetry of the Tonga people of Southern Province. The project, which ran from 2021 with an internal assistance fund of $83,790 from UNESCO, aimed to raise awareness of the UNESCO Convention on the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. Activities included community meetings, local media engagement, in collaboration with traditional leaders in Monze and Namwala districts. A key component involved capacity building with 42 stakeholders trained in community-based inventorying methods to foster local understanding and ownership of the safeguarding process. Thomas Mambo Mubira, Chief Cultural and Folklore Officer at the Ministry of Tourism, expressed gratitude for UNESCO's support. He outlined the project's major achievement, the comprehensive documentation of Kuyabila. Mr. Mubira reported that the project has led to the integration of Kuyabila into educational and cultural activities. Lagos' bustling streets have become a canvas for bold murals and vibrant graffiti as the city hosts its first street art festival. The legendary Lagos City of Dreams event features 12 artists, 9 from Nigeria and 3 international painting, large-scale works on walls across the city. Organizers say the goal is to make art accessible to everyone and inspire social change. We believe art shouldn't be confined to galleries and museums, said Osa 7, one of the organizers. Lithuanian artist Andriy Ando said his mural, The Pace of Lagos, reflects the city's energy. Local artist H.K. Locks focused on themes of unity and migration, depicting Lagos as a melting pot of ethnic cities and ambitions. Lagos is where people come to chase dreams, he said. My piece shows collaboration and the hustle that defines this city, he remarked. The 31st Annual South African Music Awards, SAMA 31, will take place tomorrow, 14 December, in a groundbreaking hybrid format that blends live elements with digital accessibility. Despite funding challenges, RISA has organized the event, which will feature live-streamed performances, interactive fan zones, and exclusive content in order to reach a wider audience and honor top South African talent. With the top 21 nominees already announced and supported by partners such as the Motsepe Foundation and the SABC, Summer 31 promises to be an innovative and prestigious celebration of the nation's musical excellence. Moving on to business headlines. The International Finance Corporation, IFC, is considering an investment of up to $88.34 million in Malaysia's Guangchong Berhad GCP, one of the world's largest cocoa processors. The funding announced on Wednesday would finance the second phase of expansion of GCP's cocoa processing plant in San Pedro, Cote d'Ivoire, which began operations in 2023. The proposed investment is subject to final approval by the World Bank's private sector arm. The plant is key to processing cocoa for export and supporting a more sustainable supply chain. Its expansion is expected to improve local producers' access to international markets, boost sustainable cocoa bean production, and increase local processing capacity. This would add more value domestically and create new jobs. The initiative also aims to strengthen Cote d'Ivoire's position on global markets by promoting environmentally and socially responsible practices. On Friday, Africa's entrepreneurial talent took center stage in Kigali as the two-day summit and grand finale of the 7th Africa's Business Heroes ABH competition got underway. Hosted by Alibaba Philanthropy and the Jack Ma Foundation in partnership with the Rwanda Development Board, the event brought together over 1,700 entrepreneurs, investors, policymakers, and leaders to celebrate the innovative ideas that are shaping Africa's economic future. Africa has never lacked entrepreneurial spirit or problem solvers, said Sun Lijun, chairman of the Alibaba Foundation. He emphasized the role of African innovation in addressing continental challenges, as well as Alibaba's focus on AI investments. Since its inception, ABH has received over 150,000 applications. Past recipients have created 120,000 jobs and impacted the lives of 40 million people. Finally, sport news. Liberia has emerged as the champions of the 2025 Mano River Union Women's U20 tournament, showcasing consistency, resilience, and tactical discipline throughout the competition. The young Liberian side secured 6 points from 4 matches, following their decisive 2-1 victory over Sierra Leone after all 3 of their previous matches ended in draws. This crucial win was enough to place them at the top of the standings and claim the coveted regional title. The final day at the Southern Arena in Bo was filled with excitement, pride, and a strong sense of regional unity as fans witnessed the conclusion of a tightly contested and memorable tournament. The closing ceremony was graced by several dignitaries and football leaders. The tournament once again showcased the rising quality of women's football within the Mano River Union, with all participating nations displaying passion, talent, and true regional solidarity. Now let's take a look at the current weather forecast. That's all for now. Before I conclude, I would like to invite you to watch today's edition of our weekly program, The Notables, which delves into the life of Olusegun Obasanjo, former president of Nigeria. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.
They shaped history. They inspired generations. They are the Notables. Join us as we honor Africa's greatest minds and trailblazers, the Notables, celebrating Africa's icons.
Hello and welcome to Pulse of Africa. On today's edition of the Notables, we spotlight a man whose life reflects the resilience and unshakable spirit of an entire continent, former President Olusegun Obasanjo. We explore the journey of a leader whose personal story mirrors Africa's own narrative of struggle, transformation, and hope. Across the continent's political landscape, Obasanjo's legacy stands at the crossroad of conflict and peace, power and humility, leadership and lasting influence. From modest beginnings to the front lines of defining civil war, he rose from a young soldier to a central figure in African politics. His life reveals resilience in the face of adversity, courage in the pursuit of unity, and unwavering commitment to the progress of the continent he proudly serves. A commander who helped in civil war, a military leader who chose democracy over power. This is the story of Olusegun Obasanjo.
Olusegun Matthew Okikiola Aremu Obasanjo was born on March 5, 1937 in Abeokuta, present-day Ogun State, southwestern Nigeria. Raised in a humble Yoruba farming household, he absorbed early the values of hard work, discipline, community, and resilience. At Baptist Boys High School, one of Nigeria's most respected mission schools, he developed a reputation for sharp intelligence, strong leadership, and unwavering, sometimes stubborn determination. After graduation, financial constraints prevented him from attending university, and he briefly worked as a teacher before seeking a more promising path. In 1958, Obasanjo enlisted in the Nigerian army, a decision that transformed his life. With remarkable dedication, he excelled in engineering and logistics, completed officer training in England, and rose swiftly through the ranks. During the Nigerian Civil War 1967 to 1970, Obasanjo achieved national prominence. As commander of the 3rd Marine Commander Division, he led decisive operations in the final phase of the conflict, and in January 1970 accepted the Biafran surrender, a symbolic moment of national reunification that cemented his image as a patriot committed to Nigeria's survival. In 1975, General Murtala Ramat Mohammed led a military coup and selected Obasanjo as his deputy. The reform-driven government battled corruption and pushed for public sector modernization. When Murtala Mohammed was assassinated during an attempted coup in 1976, Obasanjo, involved in the plot, assumed leadership as head of state. His three-year administration, 1976 to 1979, remains one of Africa's most important transitional periods. He oversaw the writing of a new constitution, legalized political parties, organized national elections, and on October 1, 1979, voluntarily handed power to an elected civilian president, Segun Shagari. This made him the first African military ruler to peacefully return a nation to a democratic rule, a milestone that reshaped perceptions of African governance.
Nigeria wants to reduce its area of dependence on the factories of the industrialized economies. Nigeria wishes to bring its manufactured products to the world market.
After stepping down, he returned to agriculture, business, writing, and global statesmanship. Under General Sani Abacha's authoritarian regime in the 1990s, Obasanjo became one of Nigeria's most vocal advocates for democracy and human rights. In 1995, he was arrested and accused of plotting a coup, charges widely dismissed as politically motivated. Prison became a turning point. Obasanjo underwent a profound spiritual transformation, embraced born-again Christianity, and produced extensive writings on leadership, morality, and national unity. His unjust imprisonment elevated him to a symbol of resistance. After Abacha's sudden death in 1998, Obasanjo was released. As Nigeria prepared to return to civilian rule, he became a natural choice to lead the rebuilding of the nation. Elected in 1999 and re-elected in 2003 under the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Obasanjo led Nigeria's most ambitious reform era since independence. He restored macroeconomic stability, reduced Nigeria's crushing external debt, encouraged foreign investment, and launched a broad privatization program. Obasanjo established the AFCC and ICPC, institutions that dramatically altered Nigeria's anti-corruption landscape. His Universal Basic Education (UBE) program expanded nationwide access to schooling and improved teacher training. As a champion of African integration, he co-founded NEPAD and strengthened the African Union during his term as AU Chair 2004 to 2006. His tenure also faced turbulence, allegations of electoral irregularities in 1999 and 2003. Heavy-handed responses to unrest in Odi and Zaki Bayam, a controversial push for a constitutional amendment interpreted by many as an attempt to seek a third term. Despite these controversies, his presidency reshaped Nigeria's political and economic landscape. Across the continent, Obasanjo has been central to resolving crises in Sudan, Darfur, DR Congo, Liberia and Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, Kenya's political transitions, Ethiopia's peace negotiations. His style, candid, forceful but pragmatic, has earned him respect from rival factions who trust his judgment and neutrality. He founded the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, OOPL, Africa's first presidential library, which serves as a vast archive, research center, leadership institute, and cultural museum dedicated to Nigerian and African history. Even in his late 80s, Obasanjo remains extraordinarily active. He is currently involved in high-level African Union missions, mediation in political conflicts across the continent, global advocacy for food security and agricultural development, lectures and thought leadership on governance, democracy, and Africa's economic future.
We can no longer depend on aid. We have talked about trade instead of aid. We are now also greatly emphasizing investment and trade.
Expanding programs at the OOPL, including youth leadership, entrepreneurship, and regional policy dialogues, Obasanjo continues to be a sought-after voice in international diplomacy, African development strategy, and global peace building.
Africa needs leadership, and it needs it now and all the time. Proactivity as an element of transformational leadership emphasizes the need for governance to be led actively by a discerning and quick-thinking leadership.
Olusegun Obasanjo stands as one of Africa's most consequential post-colonial leaders, admired by many, debated by others, but impossible to ignore. His life intersects with Africa's greatest struggles and aspirations, from the ashes of colonialism to independence, from military rule to democracy, from war to reconciliation, and from disunity to continental cooperation. Whether celebrated or criticized, his influence stretches far beyond Nigeria. It touches the entire African continent in diplomacy, governance, leadership, and institution building, not just as a leader of the past, but as a force shaping Africa's present and its future.
African leaders of the colonial period, traditional chiefs and nationalists, deserve to be credited for their willpower and doggedness in fighting the cause of freedom and independence for African nations.
From the battlefields that shaped a nation to the negotiation tables that influenced a continent, Olusegun Obasanjo's impact remains undeniable. His choices, challenges, and vision continue through Africa's unfolding story. Thank you for joining us on this remarkable journey. This is Pulse of Africa, where the continent's heartbeat is told through the leaders, the moments, and the stories that define who we are.
They shaped history. They inspired generations. They are the notables. Join us as we honor Africa's greatest minds and trailblazers, the notables, celebrating Africa's icons.